Hi and welcome to another Scraps and Ink video, and today is day 3 of my Christmas card series, and today I'll be using the Simon Says Stamp Snow Much stamp set with some Prima marketing watercolors. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe and tap that bell so you never miss an update. And if you've been here before, welcome back. So we're just going to jump into the products here. As I mentioned before, I used this Simon Says Stamp Snow Much stamp set, and I'll be using 2 of the snowmen from this stamp set. And I'm just using regular washi tape that I purchased at Michael's, as well as the Strathmore cold press watercolor paper. And Prima Marketing watercolors in the tropical color blend, as well as this Recollections clear embossing powder and the VersaFine Onyx black ink. I'll be using just a regular stamping block for this. I think it's about 2.5 inches long, as well as a water fountain pen, and it's a rounded brush with a bit of a pointed tip. So let's jump into it. And here I cut down my watercolor paper to a 5x7 panel, and I will be using the entire 5x7 on my card. And I dust it with my embossing powder bag. And you could just find this bag at any craft store. I got mine at Michael's. It has lasted me for, going on 2 years now, and I use it on almost every single project. This washi tape was a little bit too tacky, so I removed some of the tackiness on my sleeve, and later on you'll see me mark my paper because I didn't do that before. I went into this card not really knowing what I had planned for it. I knew I wanted to stamp a snowman background. I had seen a lot of inspiration on Instagram. I don't know what interest is. Anyway, I've seen, maybe it's a new app. Who knows? I've seen a lot of inspiration on Instagram with backgrounds stamped using the larger images on stamp sets. I thought that was a really great idea, and so I wanted to try my hand at it. But first, I heat embossed each stamped image in clear. So after I hit it with my heat tool, I went in, put the tape back down, stamped the second snowman, the one wearing the top hat, with VersaFine ink, and then clear heat embossed that one as well. And you can kind of see where I'm thinking about where to put the images. Sometimes I pull out a scrap piece of paper to protect the bottom portion of the cardstock. The reason I heat embossed the images, you don't have to do this. It's a little bit extra. I do it because I'm very messy when I watercolor. And clear heat embossing creates a little bit of a lip on the images and protects my project from me getting ink or color where I don't intend to place it. There are some times when my brush slips or I oversaturate my paper in water. Mistakes happen. It's just part of the process. They don't bother me as much. I know other people might be bothered quite a bit more. So here I used the heart stamp set and the little X plus cross, whatever you want to call it, from the stamp set. I used the larger cross. The stamp set does come with 2 of them, a larger and a smaller cross. And I was going to use the snowflakes, but I felt like that would have been too much. So instead I used the hearts and the crosses. This is going to be more of a winter thank you card than it is a Christmas card, although I do stamp the inside of the card with a Merry Christmas. And here I go in with that purple color. I don't know what they're called, but I believe it's number 20. And I'll show you part of the background. On one portion of the background, I actually went a little bit too heavy and then created a bit of an unintentional ombre effect. So I kind of liked how that worked out, and I decided to try it again for the top half of the panel. I didn't exactly achieve the look that I was looking for, but it worked, and I was pleased with the results. And there are some parts that you can kind of see where I missed. I do end up going back over those parts with the purple as I'm coloring. So moving on, I'm not going to show all of the coloring because this video was an hour and a half long with all of the coloring. So I'll just show you little pieces here and there where I color the scarves, the hearts, the gift boxes, the ribbon. And I do very little I do very little blending on this. I think the most I blended was probably the brown with a blue or yellow to give it a more brownish color. I don't know. I blended randomly. I felt like at one point I had an idea of how I was going to color every image, and because I'm just coming off a cold, I was a little bit delirious and I lost track of how many images I had. And I was painting while my daughter was sleeping. So I kind of had to rush it. So things got a little bit crazy. A system I had in place ended up not working, so I just winged it. And ultimately, I don't hate the results. I kind of like it. So I go over each image multiple times, trying to get the shading and the color and texture just right, and to give each image individual interest. Ultimately, I did not achieve. I'm not a painter. I'm not professional by any means. I never took a course or a class, so I'm just kind of winging it. I just go by whatever looks good. And I go by some inspiration I may have seen online on Pinterest, Instagram, other YouTubers. So here I am heat embossing the sentiment, and I chose So Much Thanks for this one. I just wanted to be simple. I didn't want to use the same winter hello that I always use. And I thought this one would be kind of cute. I heat embossed it directly onto my mat, and I'm just using the 12x12 Weird Memory Keepers tempered glass mat. I think it's great. It works wonderful. So if you're in the market for a tempered glass mat, you don't have to spend a bunch of money on a Tim Holtz glass mat. This one works just fine. And I did use Gold Recollections embossing powder for this. Here I'm sticking down some score tape, and I burnished it down with my ink pad and cut off the excess cardstock that was hanging over the edge of the card. So you won't actually see me do it in the video, but I cut down some Nina Desert Storm cardstock to be my card base, and I cut it down to be a 5x7 card base when folded. So it comes out to 10x7 when you cut it down. And I do end up mounting it off camera and stamping the inside with a Merry Christmas sentiment. Very simple, didn't do much else beyond that. Thank you so much for watching my video today. Please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe and tap that bell so you never miss an update. Also, join me next time for day 4 of our 12 Days of Christmas card series. Have a great day.